You are watching the Doctalk show. You are watching the Doctalk show.
So we're in our food studio today to know or to learn about which are the best foods you should eat to ensure that you don't become malnourished. So Ms. Regina, take us through what we have here on our lovely table here displayed.
Okay, we have just a few examples of the vegetables we have available in Uganda. We have cabbages very commonly, we have avocado, we have the dodo, nakati, pumpkin, cucumbers, and then the katunguma. So there's a variety. So people should not try to just eat just one kind. If I don't like the katunguma, if I don't like the dodo, I could eat the avocado, I could do the cucumber or cabbage. So there's always an option to choose from when you're trying to have your vitamins.
And it's a very interesting display because on this side it appears to be the healthy. On this side we have an interesting selection here. What is this?
So this side is just an example of some of the things we talked about obesity, some of the things that people eat without really realizing that they contribute to their weight. We have the cake, we have the biscuits. Very many times people have these as a snack between meals and they feel like I've not really eaten anything.
Really?
So you can find that this plate of biscuits and cake almost has the same calories like this whole plate of food. So the amount, yet this is very filling. So you end up eating so many times, yet you would have just eaten this and you're really satisfied and able to sustain life because this is more nutritious. This is just energy. There's no other nutrient. Well, this is protein, energy, etc. Very many times Ugandans will blame so many things for their weight without noticing that the drink they have later on in the day is contributing to their weight. So we have a mug of beer here. Then we have some whiskey, which is 40% alcohol. Then we have some wine, which is also alcohol. So very many people don't think that this contributes to energy. Alcohol is also broken down to energy. That's why we call it a beer belly for those of us who have excess fat. It can be because
when you have too much of this,
of the beer,
you grow fat.
Yes. So some people think that because our beer is beer, a wine would be safer. But if beer has 4% alcohol and the wine has 8% and this has 40% alcohol, meaning that this is going to yield a bigger amount of energy than the beer. I'm saying this because there are people who think that this burns the fats, yet it doesn't burn the fat.
Another very common idea. People think when they drink the whiskeys, it will burn the fat. Is that true?
It's not true. As a matter of fact, it contributes to the fat because it has alcohol and every gram of alcohol is broken down to 7 calories, which is even more than a gram of carbohydrate, which is broken down to just 4 calories. So as we lower carbohydrate content, we should also lower
the
alcohol as well.
All right, so basically this is the bad side.
Yes.
So let's focus on the good side. Now, while on the show we talked about nutrient-dense, nutrient-deficient foods. So what are these nutrient-dense foods exactly?
Nutrient-dense foods are those that are really rich in a particular nutrient. If I eat, for example, a pumpkin, I have vitamin A in there, which is in a good amount, as opposed to maybe if I ate just a biscuit, it's not anything. So nutrient-dense has an amount of food. Then also nutrient-dense helps us to explain the meal. It can be a nutrient-dense meal. You have a little vitamin B, you have a little vitamin A, you have protein, you have fiber, so it's dense in terms of its content.
And maybe if I can just compliment a little bit. Often, this plate looks beautiful, but it's not every day that you can eat, have your vitamin B's, A's, C's, and whatever. And this is where this idea of food fortification comes in. Okay. When you fortify food, this is when you add vitamins and minerals in a safe way to commonly eaten foods. So for example, in this country, we eat a lot of maize flour and a lot of wheat flour. You can add folic acid, you can add your any other vitamin and mineral to it. My favorite example is always rice. Rice is one of those foods that is pure calories. There's no vitamins, there's no minerals, which are really essential. But then you find people eat rice every day. So one of the new technologies that we've developed is what we call rice fortification, adding vitamins and minerals to rice in a very safe way. Actually, in Uganda, there are 3 foods that are mandatorily fortified by law. You have to do it. Wheat flour is the first, maize flour, edible oil as well. All the salt that comes in as well has to have iodine. So, you know, when you go to the supermarket and you find a packet of maize flour, look on it. And often you'll find fortified with vitamin A, fortified with vitamin B, or whichever one. But that's what we call industrial fortification, when you add vitamins and minerals to commonly eaten foods. But you can also home fortify, what we call home fortification, especially for younger children who, you know, after the first 6 months of life that we talked about, they do need to complement with nutrient-dense foods. So we have what we call micronutrient powders. Basically, it's a powder that has vitamins and minerals on it, and you sprinkle it on already cooked food. On the food that's already cooked. It does not turn the color, it does not change the taste, and it's actually highly recommended by the government, by the Ministry of Health here, because that's a way that you can meet the nutrient requirements of a young child.
And the way you can avoid that micronutrient deficiency, that type of malnutrition, which I talked about earlier in the show. So now specifically about what foods to eat. For example, in someone who is diabetic, we have a display of several foods here. What food should someone who is suffering from diabetes, or someone who wants to lose weight, or someone who has whichever illness, maybe cancer or the likes, what kind of food should they eat out of this variety?
Okay, I'm going to start with the options someone has between their meals.
Yes.
So often we will choose something like this for a snack, the biscuits, the cake, or we get some what we locally call daddies, but this is just carbohydrate. So
so these are not good.
Yes, so these are not good because this person doesn't have to eat a lot of things that will contribute to their sugar. So a good swap for this would be to swap this and replace with 2 bananas, or to swap and do sim because this is just protein and some omega-6 fatty acids which are good for this person without increasing their blood sugar levels.
Naturally fortified.
Yes, naturally fortified because it has a good amount of potassium, a good amount of protein, etc.
You don't need to fortify this.
Yes.
You don't need to fortify this. Okay.
Yes. Then at meal time, because we want to reduce the amount of carbohydrates this person is loading, we focus on a lot of vegetables. Usually people complain when we talk about vegetables because they feel they're not that tasty, but that's why we have a variety. If you don't like the greens, eat cucumber. If you don't like cucumber, eat the tomatoes. So that you still, or cabbage. So that you still have that large portion of vegetables.
But when you say large, is this how it should be?
Yes, ideally this is a big plate. So if your plate is smaller, you'd still portion it out in this way, but just smaller. Then we have a protein ratio. This is groundnut paste, but we can do fish in this scenario. We can do beans. We can do peas. The reason I picked pumpkin, you realize there is no matoke on this plate. Yes. There is no potato. There is no rice. I picked pumpkin because it's a good swap for the usually eaten foods like matoke and potatoes. Okay. This is not a high carbohydrate food. And yet, it gives you the mindset of have eaten something solid. So the person feels they've had a meal. Well, often at times I tell them, don't eat a lot of matoke, don't eat a lot of potatoes. They feel like they can't have anything
so it's
solid.
A good substitute.
It's a good substitute.
All right.
Yes.
Amazing. So the way you partition the plate, I'm seeing nearly half the plate has vegetables and fruits and cucumber and basically salad. So this is how the food should appear for any diabetic or people who want to lose weight. This is how your food should appear. Is there anything else you want to tell people?
Of course, now for the people watching, in case they want to put matoke, the matoke replaces the pumpkin part.
Okay.
Yes, it doesn't replace the vegetable part by filling a lot of the plate. It just replaces the pumpkin part with just a fist size of the carbohydrate food. This way the diabetic person will always have a sugar level that is controlled because they have not loaded from the food.
Final question. Is this meal plan good for a pregnant mother to produce enough breast milk?
There are no foods that increase breast milk per se.
Okay.
Breast milk is increased by how much the mother puts the baby to the breast. The baby is on the breast, so often the mother will produce milk. So the food that we eat is supposed to provide nutrients, but not necessarily supply breast milk.
It provides the nutrients to produce
the milk.
Absolutely.
Then the most important thing in breastfeeding is to hydrate. The mother should drink enough.
Not with these.
Not with this.
Please.
To hydrate with water, with teas. I will go away from the porridge side because most of our mothers are getting overweight during the breastfeeding time because of overeating. And successfully, the mother will regain their normal body weight because they're eating just enough calories, just enough nutrients, but not exceeding the number, while still hydrating enough so the baby will have enough breast milk.
All right, excellent.
Breast
so
is best.
Yes.
breast milk is best.
Breast
And,
is best.
and those first 1,000 days you mentioned, does it comprise this?
No. For the first 6 months, we are not giving the baby any other thing. Usually mothers are saying,
No, and I meant to the mother.
to the mother.
To the mother, yes.
It's enough food.
It's enough.
Yes.
It's basically enough.
Yes.
What the important thing is, it is nutritious, and not these, but
yes.
nutritious food, nutrition dense, meaning they have lots of nutrients and vitamins within them. So you have learned it from our experts in studio. You know which foods you should be targeting. Do not go to the bar and order for something like this. No, you should rather order for a healthy meal of fruit, vegetable, healthy amount of protein and healthy amount of carbohydrate, which will keep you healthy, keep you nutritious, and not be malnourished, as what we were discussed earlier. So I want to thank you very much, Ms. Regina and Mr. Arnold, for taking us through this very important nutrition demonstration. A talk about malnutrition, where we are going wrong. So you've heard it from the experts. We are going wrong in the choice of foods we eat, how we eat. You're underfeeding the child. Maybe you're giving them a lot of popcorn. I mean, give them lots of this food. This is the best stuff. Yes, this is what they really need for them to grow into strong and healthy people. So thank you very much, our guest nutrition experts.
With
and we'll
pleasure.
see you next time on the Doctalk Show.